Who that nation? Make it four in a row, baby. Four dubs in a row. It's unbelievable. And we got to break it down, man. A great performance offensively in Tennessee. Not the greatest offensive performance, but overall a great win. And yeah, we got to break that down. And then we'll break down the final game of the season between the Falcons. And this is an interesting one because with the Buccaneers getting the win over the Panthers, now the Saints are actually the ones that will decide if they go to the playoffs. So a lot of things are happening as we speak, and I got to break it down. This is the Saints Roundtable, stick and stay. And also for a bonus in this episode at the end, I'll break down the entire season overall, a season in review. And yeah, this should be a good episode, and I hope you guys like it. This is the Saints Roundtable, stick and stay, as I said. Let's do it. All right, so let's break it down. The Saints got the win in Tennessee, 34-26, in a surprising shootout. This was a high-scoring game, and yeah, both sides actually played pretty well, and they're striving well for the future on both ends. And yeah, overall, the Saints defense, I wouldn't say they played their best game, but they had their moments in this game where they made some key plays and really were able to help the Saints get the victory here. And both quarterbacks played well. Cam Ward was 21 of 40. I want to say completions wise, he was good, but he made some key throws and some key plays in this game. Yeah, he was 21 for 40 on his passes, 251 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an 88.6 rating. And yeah, he made some key throws and was able to keep the Titans in the game. But a couple of key defensive plays really got to him, and yeah, overall the Saints defense did a solid job against the Titans. 26 points is quite a bit, but you'll take that in the victory if you have an offense that can score more than 25 or more points, which was the case here. And yeah, another guy I told you guys we had to stop was Tony Pollard, and he had a pretty good game overall. 18 carries for 85 yards and 10 receiving yards for 95 yards total. Did not get in the end zone, so that's a good thing. So that's good. But they were able to do enough, and yeah, he was pretty productive, but not productive to the point where he dominated, and the running game was just completely dominating the game. It was more of running and passing overall that was able to get to the Saints defense. But in terms of stopping him, they did just enough in terms of stopping him. So good job there. And their tight end, Shig Okonkwo, he had 3 receptions for 55 yards and a touchdown. He played pretty well. Another guy from them, Alec Ayo Manor, four catches for 37 yards and a touchdown. And Cam Ward, credit to him, man. He's looking like he is the guy for the Titans, and he's looking like he is the best quarterback in this draft class as the number 1 pick. And he made some key throws, but yeah, as I said, the Saints defense was able to do enough. Chase Young had one of the most amazing takeaways for a touchdown I've ever seen. He literally strip sacked Cam Ward, and in midair got the football with one hand, grabbed it, and literally just yanked it out of his hands. It was pretty crazy, and was able to take it all the way for 6. And yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the Saints defense. They're really playing well. We'll see if Cam Jordan calls it a career. It's looking like the last couple of weeks that he's been hinting that he's going to retire, but the future's bright overall everywhere else on this defense. The secondary has really grown up this whole season, and they're really playing well now, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. And all the other pass rushers, the young pass rushers the Saints have drafted the last couple of years are starting to really develop. And overall, yeah, you got to be optimistic and excited about this defense going to next year, because they finally have some hope. Because as I'll break down in the next segment with the offense, they finally have a quarterback they can believe in and that can give them points and give them a lead to defend. And they're playing like it right now because they're scoring points. They're able to get out there and defend the lead. And yeah, it's really showing right now, and I love what I'm seeing out of this defense. Brandon Staley is doing an outstanding job calling defense and getting the scheme out there week by week. for each matchup, and just overall, you gotta love what you gotta see what you're seeing out of this defense. So great things to come going into next year. Great things to come. And as I said, I'll break down the offense coming up. This is the Saints Roundtable. Stick and stay. Now to the offense, and a great performance overall by the offense. By far, the best performance by this offense this season. 34 points scored, and yeah, Tyler Shough was absolutely electric. He's looking like the guy for the Saints going into the future. He was 22 for 27 on his completions, 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 142.7 rating. Like that is absolutely fantastic. That's what you want out of your franchise quarterback. And he's answered the call, man. He played very, very well. Made some key throws. Him and Chris Olave. I'll talk about Chris Olave a little later. Unfortunately, he has some issues with him health-wise, but I'll break that down later. But him and Chris Olave have really, really become a great connection, a great match. They've really figured each other out, and in this game they did, and they made some key plays. A couple of they had a big touchdown, had a couple of big plays, and yeah, just overall him and Chris Olave's connection has really, really grown up, and you got to feel optimistic because it reminds me of the old days with Drew Brees and Michael Thomas, where those two were just at the hip and they knew each other. And Drew Brees can just throw it to Michael Thomas and rely on him to get the football and catch it every single time. And that's what it's looking like right now with Tyler Shough and Chris Olave. So that's great to see. And overall, yeah, everybody else played well. Audric Estime, man, how about this guy? He's really, really shown up being the running back one ever since Alvin Kamara and Devin Neal and Kendra Miller have been injured. He's taken over as starting running back the last couple of weeks, and he's really producing. Hey, he had by far his best game of the year. 14 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. Had a big touchdown late, that clutch touchdown to ice the game. And he's looking like something. So, yeah, so the Saints have a lot of depth now at the running back position. So, depending on what happens with Alvin Kamara, he says he doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to be traded, but we'll see what the front office thinks about that. But if they want to keep him, then hey, you got 4 really good options at running back, and Kellen Moore can really play around with the running back position and do some key formations and plays with who he has back there. So you gotta love that. And as I mentioned, Chris Olave, 8 receptions for 119 yards and a touchdown, and yeah, the guy is just an explosive weapon right now. And going into next year, you got to feel confident that he'll keep that going. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. As I said, I'll break down what happened recently with him health-wise in the next segment. But yeah, you got to feel good that he finally has figured it out, and he finally found his quarterback to grow with and to become the number 1 receiver the Saints were expecting him to be coming out of Ohio State a couple years ago when they got him in the first round. And yeah, the guy is ultra talented, and he's really showing it right now. So you gotta love that. And Juwan Johnson, man, steady Eddie Juwan Johnson, 4 receptions, 95 yards. He's really grown up. He's shown this year that he deserved that contract extension, and he's really, really shown up. No matter what the quarterback is, even with Spencer Rattler, he was still putting up big numbers. And now with Tyler Shough, he's obviously doing the same and then some. So it's all very, very good there. And another guy that's really shined, Kevin Austin Jr., another guy that came out of nowhere, 4 receptions for 52 yards and a touchdown. And he's starting to show something. So now we're starting to see that there is some possible depth aside from Chris Olave at receiver, Kevin Austin Jr., Mason Tipton, and these other guys. They're starting to grow and become something. So the loss of Rashid Shaheed is not as huge as we thought it might be, possibly. Although Rashid Shaheed's playing pretty well right now in Seattle, so you gotta that hurts a little bit. But at the same time, it is what it is. If they had to make the move, and they did, and get some draft capital, and you gotta trade something good to get something good, and that's what they did. And yeah, all the luck to Rashid Shaheed right now in Seattle, and they're the number 1 seed. and they're playing very, very well. So good for him. But overall, you gotta love what you're seeing out of this team, and yeah, they're building something special going into the future. They've done a good job at drafting a lot of young players last couple of years, in the down years, in the dumps. But hey, that's what you got to do when you are doing a rebuild. It's not gonna change like that. It takes time for a rebuild to really blossom, for these players to really become something, and that's what we're seeing now. And there's hope and optimism going to next year. And as we're seeing in this NFC South this year, it's a struggle for a team to win it this year. So imagine going to next year if it continues and the Saints are better. Hey, the Saints may have a chance to do something and make some noise in this division next year. So you got to feel good about that. And 2 for 2 in the red zone, great in the red zone. As you guys have seen in the past, I've got on Tyler Shuck and I've gotten on Kellen Moore for not doing well in the red zone in the past weeks, but they've really picked it up lately. And when they get in the red zone, they're converting, they're getting touchdowns, they're getting points, and you got to love that. So Kellen Moore is showing that he trusts Tyler Shuck, and Tyler Shuck is showing that he trusts Kellen Moore's play calling, and they're really starting to gel as an offensive unit, and that's just great to see. So great things, guys, great things. And going into this last week, it's going to be interesting because we are, believe it or not, we're the deciding factor for who wins the division in the NFC South. So I'll break that down. This is the Saints Roundtable. Stick and stay. All right, so let's break down the final game of the season for the Saints. This is it, guys, the final game. We'll see if the Saints can finish it off with the 5th consecutive win and go into next year riding high. They're playing the Falcons in Atlanta in Week 18. And believe it or not, yeah, the Saints are the deciding factor for who wins this NFC South. If they beat the Falcons, the Buccaneers are in the playoffs. If they lose to the Falcons, the Panthers are tied at 8-9 with everybody else, but they have all the tiebreakers, and they get into the playoffs, and the Buccaneers are done for the season. So it's a lot is riding high on this game. Believe it or not, I did not think this was going to be the case from the start of the season. I thought by the time we got to this game, nothing mattered at all in the division, but a lot rides in this game, and we're the deciding factors to see who is gonna be the NFC South representative in the playoffs. So, of course, as we saw in the first matchup in New Orleans, the guy got to stop is Bijan Robinson, and Bijan Robinson absolutely ate us up in that first matchup. He got over 100 yards, was a threat in the receiving game and the rushing game. So as I said last time, we have to do a good job of keeping him out of space and not letting him get in space and make big plays and be explosive. So pass rush, D-line has to do a good job of closing the gaps up in the rushing game. The linebackers got to be ready to pounce on if he gets out there in space in the passing game. And just overall, just do the best you can to stop him. Because if you stop him, then Kirk Cousins and this passing offense struggles. So you got to do all hands on deck and stop Bijan Robinson, and we'll see if they can do that. And of course, Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, credit to him, man. He's gotten a lot of criticism in his career because he really hasn't lived up to being that great tight end prospect he was coming out of Florida. But he finally has figured it out. He's having a great year in his contract year, by the way. So you know that he was motivated this year to put up good numbers, because if he didn't do that, then the odds of him getting paid this offseason were very low. And yeah, he's shown up when it matters most. So good for him. He's having a good year. Had a great connection with Michael Penix Jr. And God bless Michael Penix Jr. He's out for the season with a torn ACL. But to Kyle Pitts' credit, he's really continued to do the same thing with Kirk Cousins and put up big numbers with Kirk Cousins. And yeah, the guy has really shown up. So linebackers got to show up and cover him. Maybe bring a safety behind to help out. but do the best you can to contain him in the middle because he can be a really good threat, moving the chains and also in the red zone. So do what you can to stop him and make it tough for him. Make another receiver beat you. And another receiver underrated is Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney and Kirk Cousins, they have a great connection. I don't know what it is. Like those two just have it figured out. Because with Michael Penix Jr., Darnell Mooney really didn't show up and do a lot with him. But for some reason with Kirk Cousins, he knows how to get open and they know how to find each other. So also stop Darnell Mooney. And yeah, just do the best you can to make it hard on Kirk Cousins. Pressure him. He's not a moving target, especially with that Achilles injury he had last year. He's not fast, so I would blitz him a lot, pressure him, get him off his spot, and if you do that, then he's gonna be rattled and it's gonna be tough for him to get going. So so as we've seen with the defense the last couple of weeks, Brandon Staley's gonna come in with a good defensive game plan, and his defense is gonna be ready. And these guys have really grown up, as I said in the last segment. They've really grown up. As overall as a unit, these young players on this defense, so they'll be ready in this game, and we'll see what happens. But you got to think they'll do pretty well against this Falcons offense with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. So we'll see how it goes, and this is going to be a pretty good game that people actually would watch, and not even not just Saints fans, Panthers fans are going to watch this, Buccaneers fans are going to watch this, Falcons fans are going to watch this. So this is literally like a playoff game for these two teams, believe it or not. Even though they've been out of the playoffs they've been eliminated from the playoffs for a couple of weeks. So this is a big game here, and we'll see what happens. So I'll break down the offense coming up next. This is the Saints Roundtable Stick and Stay. All right, to the offense now. In the final game of the season, and you got to keep doing what you've been doing, man. Last couple of weeks, Tyler Shuck and this offense have really figured it out, and they made some big plays in games. And you got to continue to make that happen and go into this game. Let Tyler Shuck continue to cook. Give him the keys. Let him do his thing. Let him be a throw threat. Let him run a little bit. Let him go out of the pocket and throw and make big plays. And continue to do his thing because this is going to be a tough game. The Falcons' defense played very well in the week before against the Rams, and a shocking win against the Rams, actually, because a lot of people thought the Rams were going to run all over them. But they intercepted Matt Stafford 3 times and almost got 2 pick sixes, believe it or not. Because, on the second interception, the corner picked it off, and then he stepped out of bounds. If he just stepped a little more to the side and then stepped out of bounds, that's another pick six. So this Falcons defense is coming in confident. So it's going to be tough for Tyler Shuck and the offense to get going. But as we've seen the last couple of weeks, they're riding in high as well as an offensive unit. And you got to feel good that they have a chance to put up some points against this defense. But it's going to be tough, as I said. So yeah, let Tyler Shuck continue to cook. Let him be that throw threat. Give him confidence that he's the guy going into next year, and he's the man that they believe in. They believe in, and that he is the one to be the face of this franchise going forward. So I'm excited to see that. Also, big news here: Chris Olave, he will not play in this game because unfortunately this week he found out that he has a blood clot in his lung. So obviously, he shouldn't play in this game, and he also should take all the time he needs. He already has the full offseason available to him to take the time that he needs. But no matter how long it takes, a blood clot obviously is very serious business here. It's a very, very serious health issue. So he's got to take all the time that he needs to recover from that. But the good thing is that he has no history of blood clots in the past. This is his first one, and hopefully his only one. So we'll see how that goes, but he should be ready to go going into next season. So best wishes out to Chris Olave and his family, and overall just get healthy, man. Just don't even worry about football right now. Just get healthy, take care of this issue, and we'll see you next year. So with that, the Saints receiving core is going to be hit pretty hard. It's gonna be pretty tough for Shuck to develop a connection with any of these guys because it's a lot of inexperienced guys. It's Mason Tipton and who else? Like, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do on offense. But we'll see if Tyler Shuck can continue to do his thing. And as a quarterback, no matter what the circumstance is, he's got to be able to deliver with what he has in his disposal. So we'll see if he can recover and do well without his number one receiver in Chris Olave. So with that, maybe make some more Jawan Johnson, make some more running plays, run the football, and maybe do more running this week. Be run first, pass second this week without Olave out there. And yeah, just do some RPOs. Hit the tight end, hit Jawan Johnson in the middle. Be more of a steady Eddie offense. I want to say it'll be as explosive, but just be more of a ball control offense this week and play defense. Keep doing your thing, and there's a chance that they can win a low scoring game in this one if they do that to their advantage. So we'll see how it goes. It'll be a good game to watch, a huge game overall for the division. And this is going to be a classic, guys. So check it out. And this should be so we'll see what happens. And if it ends up with the fifth straight win for the Saints, it's great for them going into the future. And even if they lose, it's great for them going into the future no matter what, because this team has really grown up throughout the season. And I love what I'm seeing out of this team. So enjoy the game, guys. And to close out the show here, I'm going to do my season in review of the Saints overall. And yeah, coming into this season, there was not any expectations at all for this team. Spencer Rattler came in as a starting quarterback, and he had his ups and downs, mostly downs, unfortunately for him. He's a great kid, and I'm wishing him all the best if he gets another opportunity somewhere else. But he's no longer the starting quarterback of this team, and he will not be going into next year. It's Tyler Shuck's job to keep and to run with. But yeah, he did not deliver, and the Saints were not good at all. Pretty much the first half of the season, they were struggling pretty bad. Yeah, Kellen Moore had to figure out who's the guy, and he developed Tyler Shuck, and Tyler Shuck came in the second half of the season, and he's done nothing but run away with the job ever since then. And he finally figured out how to use him as a dual threat. Let him be good in the passing game. Let him be good in the running game. Combine both of his talents, and he's ran with it, and he's really played well. So that's great optimism overall. As I said, with this young defense, Alante Taylor and Kula McKinstry have really grown up as the two starting cornerbacks. In the back end of the secondary, Quincy Riley, their rookie draft pick this year that they got at corner, he's really grown up, and he's looking like he's going to be something special for them as well. And Jonas Sanker at safety, another rookie, he's played very well, and has really grown at safety, and will be something to build on for the defense overall in the secondary. And the secondary is young, and it's only getting better. So you gotta love that. And Brian Bresee, God bless to him, he had a knee injury and has been out, but he's really starting to grow up. Chase Young has really played well. We'll see if they sign him back. But he's really starting to look like the Chase Young he was in Washington when he was that up-and-coming great defensive player. Cam Jordan, we'll see if he comes back. It's looking like possibly he's not going to be. It's looking like this is going to be his final year, and God bless to him, and he's had a great career, and all the love to Cam Jordan for being an all-time great Saints player. But you gotta love, and Carl Granderson, he's really played well. He's become something in the middle at the tackle. And Kelvin Banks Jr., they finally found the guy at left tackle to protect the quarterback, because last couple of years Trevor Penning was supposed to be that guy, and he didn't pan out, and the Saints were struggling on the offensive line. But Kelvin Banks Jr. has come in, and he took that job from the start, and he's ran with it. And he's really done a good job of fixing this offensive line. It's still not the greatest offensive line. I would think that they'll fix it in the draft coming up, and add more to it to make it even more of a strength. But Kelvin Banks Jr. is the anchor of that line, and he's going to be the guy for years to come to protect Tyler Shuck and keep him from harm's way. So you got to love that. And yeah, overall, just a lot to look forward to as a Saints fan. As I said early in the show, the NFC South is not the toughest division. So if the Saints can continue to build on this stuff and Kellen Moore can get the best out of these guys and develop them every single week going into next season, then hey man, the future is very bright in New Orleans, believe it or not. So you gotta love that. And they've only played well in the last couple of games of the season. They're playing together as a unit. They believe. They're playing for each other. They play hard. They believe in the coaching staff. They believe in the quarterback, and they just believe in each other. And the vibes are great. I don't know if you see on social media, the players are celebrating like they won a game in the playoffs every single week. Like they're just loving. They just love playing football again. That's basically what it is. They just love playing football again. They believe. They know something special is brewing here, and yeah, it's great to see, and it reminds me of the old days when Drew Brees was there, and they were building this young team around them. Marshawn Lattimore and Alvin Kamara first came up, and you had these two upstart rookies, and you had Marcus Williams, and you had a lot of young guys. Michael Thomas coming to his prime, and just you saw there was something special brewing in New Orleans from those players coming up. And it's the same thing with these guys, with Chris Olave and now at receiver, and he's starting to grow up, and the defense is starting to really grow up as a young unit. And we finally have a quarterback in Tyler Shuck, the first guy we actually have some hope for at quarterback since Drew Brees left. And yeah, man, it's great in New Orleans right now, and the future is really bright right now. So you gotta love it. Saints fans, this was a fun season. I really enjoyed talking to you guys and gave you guys a lot of insight on what to expect for this team coming into the season, throughout the season, and for the future. And it's been a fun ride. So this was the Saints Roundtable. I'm Alberto Lucero, and I want to thank you guys for watching this season. And stick around because I will possibly be back and break down more off-season stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But this was the Saints Roundtable. I'm Alberto Lucero. And have a good off season.